In this Let's Dev, we're just going to be building a simple gallery like this, an image gallery. The front end is going to be ReactJS, but this is not a ReactJS tutorial. I will not be showing you how to get this up and running fully functional, where we upload a file from the front end like this. We have an author and have the app automatically refresh and display the images. That's not the point of this app or the point of this tutorial. The point of this tutorial is just to get you up and running, communicating with the front end to the back end in terms of uploading an image, downloading an image, storing that information in a back end. The back end is going to be NodeJS, Express, and a MySQL database. We're using MAMP to manage that. And so that record or that image I just uploaded is right here with the author and a date uploaded, date modified. So again, this is not a ReactJS tutorial. I'm assuming you have a working knowledge of that. The point of this tutorial is just to get you up and running with sending image data to the back end and getting that image data from the back end to the front end. All of the modules or the packages I used for the back end will be in the description, as well as timestamps. And of course, we can delete images as well. So we delete that image. It gets off of our gallery on the front end and gets off of our database. This Jackie Chan, hello what? Gets off of our database on the back end right there. So with all of that said, let's begin. All right, so let's wire up the front end. We're going to need, let's start it, see if it works. So npm start. So we're going to need a components folder. We just have 3 components like that. We're going to need the gallery.js. We're going to need, what else are we going to need? We'll need the upload.js, and then we need the gallery image.js like that. So is it working? Let's see. So it was localhost 3000 and it's working. All right, so let's just create the general outline, the scaffolding of these components. So we need an import of React from React. And I think one of these are going to be state, or classes. We'll just make all of them functions for now. So function gallery. And then we'll just do a return div h1. And then we'll just do gallery. And we need to export this guy. So export default gallery like that. We can copy this guy. Again, all we're doing is wiring it up, see if it all works. That guy can go there. Copy this guy again. This guy can go here. We change this guy. Gallery image, and gallery image. And then the upload guy, upload, and upload. Gallery, perfect. Let's create a router for this. So we'll import the, what do we need? What is it called? Browser router. Browser router, we need a switch, and we need the route. And this comes from the React Router DOM package. So we don't need any of this. We'll just create a switch. So browser router surrounds everything. Inside that, we create a switch. And then we can outline our routes. We're going to need 3 routes like that. And we'll say exact path equals, so the default route is just going to be our gallery. So component equals, not home, gallery. And then we'll just say for this one, upload. This one is going to be upload. And this one is going to be, just say gallery image. This is going to be gallery image like that. Now we need to import these guys. So we'll import gallery image, and upload from, what's the folder? Components. There you go. Save that. Cannot find all of those. Source. Components, gallery image, upload. Where am I in this? Components / Do I need an index file for that? Or can I just, let's try this. I might need like an index file for all those things. From components/gallery.js. And that would get rid of the one error, right? Yeah. All right. Just do it like that for now. Gather the image. Change that to lowercase. This guy can be upload. So this guy can be image. And this guy can be... And this guy can be upload. There we go. All right, so let's test out if the routes work. Here we go. So the default was gallery. Then we had the, I think it was the slash, what is it? Upload page, perfect. And then we had the gallery image page, perfect. All right, so all the routes are wired up, they're working. What we need to do is build it specifically. Let's start with the image here. So div, this will be an image with a source. What's the image source? Let's go look for an image. Let's do a, throw it here, and that's like a 1280 image, so it's way too large. Let's resize that. So we'll do a style, and then we'll do a height of, let's say 50 pixels by, and then we'll do a width of also 50 pixels. It might skew the resolution, but whatever. It's just a dummy image. Alt monkey like that. And so let's check our gallery image. There we go. Let's make it a bit larger. Let's do 100 by 100. So 100 by 100 like that. Yeah, it's good enough. All right, so we have gallery image. What did we say we're going to do? Let's create some labels. Label, let's say file name, and then we'll say date uploaded, and we'll say maybe author or something. Author. Now let's see what we have. Some breaks in there. Let's do a BR. Don't need to be self-closing. There we go. BR. Now what do we get? File, date uploaded, author. Perfect. And so let's import that guy. So we'll say import gallery image from gallery image. You don't need the .js. I just like to put it there. Gallery image, and then we'll do a whole list of these guys. So list item, and we'll say gallery image like that. Self-closing. Put one more there. Yeah, I'll do 4. Now when we go to the gallery, the main page, what do we get? There we go. That's basically what's going to look. We're going to style it, obviously. It's going to be in rows and columns, but at least we know it's working. So we have a gallery component. We have the gallery images. Let's build the upload component. So all we need for an upload is a form. We don't need an action. And in this form, we just need, let's say, span. And the span's going to say, choose your file, and then we'll say input. We'll need an input file type. Input file, like that. Name of this, we'll say, let's say image to upload. And the ID is also image to upload. And then we'll need a button for submitting. Button type is equal to submit. And we'll just say upload image. Now let's see what we have. Let's go with upload. Choose your file. No file chosen. Upload image. Again, we'll style it later, but we have the basic stuff here. All right, so we need something to handle the change. When they change the file, we need to hold that state somewhere. If we don't hold that state somewhere, every time they, how should I say this? Let me show you. So what if we did like on a, I'll create 2 functions here. So we could do a, this is going to need to hold state. I'll convert this to a class later, but for now, just go with me on this one. So let's say we had a function that's handling submit, and then we have a function that handles the change of the input type. And this is a feature of working with React, because it's a state system, has its own state. When you make changes, you need to update the state yourself. So handle handle change like that. And so when they change the input, we can say on change is equal to, handle change like that. And on submit, they can go handle submit like that. So when they change the file, you could have it upload. So when they choose a file and then click on the OK of the file, it automatically uploads. But what happens if they choose the file, they click this, it opens up the browser for them to choose a file, but they click cancel because they didn't want to, or they hit escape, or something happened where that window closed. That would also register as a change. Even though they didn't pick an actual file, it registers as a change. So you can't have the handle change function also uploading to the database. You need to handle these guys separately. So I'm going to convert this guy into a class so I can hold the state of the change. You'll see what I mean. And so this guy's no longer a function. Let's say class upload, and then I'm going to need component. So class upload extends component, and then I'm going to need a constructor. So all I'm doing with this stuff here, it's part of the development environment. This stuff, these shorthands, so I don't have to memorize what to do, or the exact syntax. So our const just creates a default constructor like this. And then we're just going to save the file, the actual file that they use. And so these are getting underlined because you can't have functions within classes like this. What you have to do is convert them to either, well, we're going to do arrow functions to help bind it to the class. So equals this. And then we're going to say handle change equals that. And now it's giving me errors here because when you have a class, you can't just return, you need to render. So you render like that, and then you return the render. So this guy goes all in here. And I'm still getting an error. Why, return. Oh, didn't copy the return part. There we go. So now we render. Export stays the same. Let me get this out of the way. All right, constructor, file, handle submit, handle change. And then these guys need to be proper scoped. This, like that. This dot handle change. All right, so when they change their the file type, we'll do a bit of a, should we do a check? All right, no checking in this. We're just going to get it done. So there's going to be an event object passed in. What we're going to do is we're going to this dot set state. Normally this is bad coding practices, but this is just a basic gallery. There's going to be no security, nothing. So we're just going to set the file to the event.target.files is where this is HTML. So files, and then it's an array of the files they chose. The first index is the file they chose. Normally you wouldn't code it like this, because what if they chose, maybe you want to limit the types of files they choose, so you'd have to check what the extension of the file is, or the MIME type. Maybe you want to check whether or not they actually chose a file, because what if they didn't choose any file? There's going to be a null in here. But for now, we're just going to assume that they choose an actual file. We're going to change the state of the file property here to the file. And then when they click the submit, we're going to submit to our upload to backend. And that's going to look like, what are we going to do here? Let's say const form data. Again, this is going to take an event object. We'll prevent the default behavior. Event.prevent default. And form data is equal to new form data. Like that. And then we're going to attach our file to the form data. So form data.append. And we'll just append it as the word or the key file. And we'll put the file in there, which is this.state.file, like that. All right, and then we're going to do our fetch request. It's not going to do anything yet because we haven't built our backend, but we can just shoot this off right now. And so it's going to be a fetch request. It's going to go to some URL. Let me break these down so we can see them properly. Upload the backend. Just put that there. So event.prevent default, and then let's do const form data. Let's say let URL equal, it's going to be some URL. It's going to be localhost / something. Or we're going to have to use ngrok proxy, but whatever, that's the URL. I want to set the parameters here. Yeah, I'll set the URL properties. Just say the request properties. Request properties like this, and this is going to be an object. We're going to need a method, and that's going to be post, because we're sending form data. We're going to have the header. The header is an object. We're going to set the content type to, let's say content type to, what was it? Multi-part form data. And then we send the form data in the body. So form data. And so all we have to do with this is just fetch the URL, send in the request properties. I don't like it's too verbose. Say request props like that. Request props, and then we handle the return. I don't know if it's going to return a JSON or if it's going to return something else. So for now, we'll just log out the return. We'll see what we get on the back end. Console.log the res, and then of course we catch anything. Could have also done this with async and await, but then you'd need to do a try catch block. But the promise nature of fetch allows us to do the catch. So if there's any sort of error in that process, we'll just log out the error like that. All right, so we have an upload thing. It has its own state. We have a handle submit. We're doing a post. Multi-part form data, sending the form data. Have we appended it? Oh, we didn't append it before or after. Like there, we're going to need to do, just say put it there. So we append the file data, enter the file data here, do a proper fetch, then catch, changes the state, renders. We might do some messaging later, like telling them, hey, it uploaded. But for now, that's good enough for the front end there. The gallery has the gallery images. Also, we need buttons here. These buttons should be part of the gallery image or the gallery. Gallery image. Let's add to the gallery image. Let's add, what was it going to be? It's going to be a delete button and there's going to be some sort of form that lets them update maybe the file name. I'm not sure on that, but there's definitely going to be a delete button. So we'll add that right now. Let's just say button type equals, actually we don't need that. Let's just do regular button. And we'll say delete image. And so we need a form for these guys. Yeah, we'll just do a mini form right here. All right, form, don't need an action right now. And then we're going to do this guy, put this guy up in here. And then we'll do an on submit. Submit equals handle submit. Do we need any sort of state here? No, we don't. So let's just do a function handle. Submit. And let's just do event.prevent default. And then this guy is just going to, what's it going to do? We'll call the action later. We're going to delete image. There we go. On all these calls to deleting images, uploading images, we're going to outsource that into an actual file full of like a mini library where we can keep all that code condensed. It's not going to be in the actual component. All right, so that's good. We have a gallery, we have upload, gallery image. Let's go over to the back end and create the routes. All right, so let's build out that back end. We can collapse all of these things here. We're going to need an entry point. We'll call that server.js. Let's create a new folder for the, what are we going to call it? Source/routes. And we're going to just do a main routes there, just so we don't clutter up the server.js. You can just add all your routes into server.js. Just makes it a lot cleaner. So let's import all of our dependencies. And let's import our routes. So routes equals require. And that was in /source/route/main routes like that. Set a port. The ReactJS was running on port, I think it was 3000. Let's check. 3000 or was it 3001? No, it was 3000. All right, so let's get this guy on 3001. Let's, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Let's initialize some of these packages. Again, I don't know if we're going to use cores for this if we need it, but if we do, I just put it right there. That looked good. We imported stuff. We initialized the packages. Again, I don't know if we need cores right now. We have the port set. So let's set a landing route. Landing route, this is just going to be app.get / and request response. And we're just going to do a JSON response. So res.status of, say, 200.json. And the message is just going to be, let's just say landing route. I'm going to copy this guy. We'll copy this guy. Nope, we'll copy this guy. We're going to need a 404 route and then just a general error handler route. And that error handler route, these guys don't need slashes. So this guy's going to be the 404 route. And this guy's going to be the general error route or handler. All right, so you're going to do a 404, not a 200. Nope, let's get that back. 404, and this is going to be, let's say, will be, what are we saying? What are we saying? What are we saying? Just say route not found. Return that. Get filtered down here. Spelled that wrong. Error res.status. status. The status is going to be, so if we send proper errors, there's going to be a status property there. If there's no status that we just send, we'll just say general 500. I think it's internal server error. And the message is going to be, again, there's a message in the error right there. If not, then we'll just do a generic, generic error message like that. All right, so we got the routes set up. We're using the port, not yet. So let's use the port. So let's set the port. So app.set property port, we'll send to the port like that. And now let's do a server. So console use app. We'll listen on the port. Just do this app.get the port. The second argument is the callback, or is a callback. And once the port or the server gets up and running, we'll just log something like server is up and running on port. And then we'll just do, what is it, server.port. Does that have port? I think that'll work. If not, we'll just use the constant. All right, so let's run this guy and see if he works. Let's go to command line. We'll just do a nodemon. All nodemon is, if you don't know, so node gets your server up and running. Nodemon gets your server up and running, but every time you save, like Control S in your server, it'll automatically refresh the server. So you don't have to keep on like Control C, well, exit or close the server and then manually restart it. So just say nodemon of server.js and we'll see if we run. And we get an error. What's the error? Router.use requires a middleware function but got an object. What's getting an object? Morgan dev body parse API routes. Routes is what? Is it that guy that's doing anything? Let's see that. Port undefined. Why is the port undefined? Maybe you can't use that. Let's try this. App.get port. Running on port 3001. All right, so that error that I was getting, I was using the routes, but I haven't exported any routes. So it's expecting, what is it said it's expecting? Requires a middleware function, but got a blank or get type fn, whatever that means. So let's just comment this guy out. Let's build out the routes first. So at least we know it's up and running on port 3001. All right, so for this guy, we're going to need, this is our main routes. Constant express, same thing. So So this guy is going to return status 200 if it's successful. And it's going to be, we'll say he's /API/download image. Is it export router.get or is it export const? Oh, we export at the bottom. We don't need this. We're just doing a module. It's a module. So module.exports. There you go. Exports equals router. Export the whole router there. All right, so let's build these routes. Router.get. And this guy is going to be /API/download image. Let's see, request, response, arrow function. And we're just going to do the same thing. Res.status of 200.json of message is going to be successful get. And we'll copy this. And you know what I should put here? I should do this. Just so I can see right off the bat. This is get. Upload image is going to be. All right, so we have all the routes written. Let's see if it works. So we need to go back into the server and uncomment that line. Which one was it? Routes here. Let's see if it works. It's up and running. All right, so to test this guy, I'm going to use Postman. Postman just lets you make HTTP requests, gets, posts, deletes, puts, all those things. Let's move this guy here. All right, so it was 3001, right? So we're going to send a GET request to the default landing. Let's see what we get. We get a response of landing route, so that worked. Let's do the GET. Since we're on GET, we'll just do the, what was it called? Download image right here. We should get successful GET. Perfect. Let's do a post to the upload. And we get successful put. All right, so the back end is up and working in and of itself. Let's see if we can wire the back end in the front end. So let me I'll keep this guy up because I need to turn on cores. The main routes, I can close that file. I need my front end, and we'll just go with, you know what we're going to do? We're going to create the, just the basic file images library right now. Because I don't want to write some code in upload and all these components. We're going to put it in the, here, I'll show you. So we have a source folder. Let's create a JavaScript folder in the source folder. And for that, we'll just create a file called FileImageActions.js. And so we're just going to do an export function, upload image, like that. And we're going to do 4 times, I think. So that's going to be the download, that's going to be the delete, and that's going to be the update. So the upload image is going to need the image or the file. So we have the download image. Do we need, so we use local storage in here, so we don't need any sort of parameter. There, we have the delete image. We might need some sort of maybe file name and author to validate whether or not delete. And then we need update image info, and this will be an object of, let's say, I don't know, let's say file attributes. And just do this so I remember that's going to be an object. These are going to be strings, and this is going to be a file type. All right, so let's just do some fetches in this guy just to wire the front end and the back end. So basic fetches. Fetch to, what was it? HTTP. Do we need S? No, we don't. Localhost, it was 3001. And this guy's going to fetch to API/upload image. Upload image. And then we'll just do a .then structure. So res. We're going to parse the response because it's going to be JSON. And then we'll do a console.log of that message. Just say res again, whatever, like that. So console.log the response, and then we'll catch any sort of error. Console.log that as well. Log the error. All right, so we'll copy that guy. All right, upload image is going to, let me just do, let's write here as a second argument. We'll make a separate variable for it. So method's going to be post, no header, no body for now. We're just testing it out. Default's get, so we don't need to do anything with that. The method for this guy is going to be, where am I? That's a delete. Delete, like that. And the method for this guy is going to be a put. So method is going to be a put. All right, so what do we have working here? We have a file image actions library. It's going to allow us to upload, download, delete, and update image info. And we're just testing whether or not we can wire the front end and back end. So let's do where are we? All right, so let's refresh this guy, and we're getting an error. Cannot set property props of undefined, and it's an upload constructor. What's wrong with this code right here? Class upload extends. It's a class. I forgot to. I'll show you. So public components upload. When I converted this guy into a class, I forgot to remove the parentheses. That's for a function only. So if we remove that and then save, we get the gallery image. All right, so how do we test these guys? Let me just create, actually, let me just import it. And so every time we click this button, we'll test something different. And so let's just do a return null here. And then I'm going to import those actions. We'll do import, and then I'll just do, it's not in an index. Let's see if I can do it like this though. So upload, let's do this. Upload image from /source. Where am I in terms of the components? So ./js/fileelement.js. Upload image. Let's see if I can do I do upload image, delete image? There we go. Delete image, we have download image and update image info. All right, so every time I hit submit, we're going to test a different fetch call. So let's just say we're going to test the, what's the first one? Upload image like that. And that upload image is going to do this, and it's going to log out in the console. All right, so let's test it. Let's open the console. Don't need that. And we need to go into the upload, not gallery image. So upload like that. Perfect. All right, so upload image, delete image is defined but never used. Yeah, it's okay. All right, so upload image, testing the upload image route. We get, so this is what I'm talking about. CORS, blocked by CORS policy. So we need to go cross domain, so we need to enable that package here, which was this line right here. So now we control save, server restarted, and now let's try again. So upload image, testing the upload image route. Let me just refresh. All right, upload image, fetch. Message, successful post. Perfect. So that works. Let's do download image. Why am I doing these one at a time? I don't know. Let's just do this then. Delete image. And then update image. Now let's test all three at once. All right. We get unexpected JSON. What is going on? Let's do this. Delete those two. Testing download image, which is a get call. 404 not found. Did I not change the URL? There we go. So download image is not upload image. We need download image. For the delete, we need the delete image. And for the update info, we need the actual proper URI. Update image info. Now, when we call all three, we can get bam, bam, bam. Successful get, delete, put. All right, so the back end is wired up to the front end. Front end's wired up to the back end. What's next? Let's clean up the code. We don't need all that. All right, so that'll be, so this fetch URL, request props. This whole thing is going to be replaced with, I don't know if I want to do it now because I don't want to jump back and forth too much. I'll keep this here for now. We have all the image actions. All the image actions are done. We need to, actual thing, the server is up and running. Upload manager is done. All right. We'll do the database stuff later. We just need to get the file uploaded to the back end. So that's going to be probably the biggest task, is sending that data to the back end. All right, well, let's do that. I guess I will do this part. All right, form data. You're going to send the form data, and then URL. You don't need any of this. Actually, I need all this in the file image. And that was going to be the upload image. All right, so URL equal, let's say that URL equal http://localhost 3001 API/upload image. So I can get rid of this guy. Like that, not like that. Like this. URL, and then these properties are just going to be, what do I call it, rec props. So I can get rid of this guy right here. All right, there we go. All right, so it's going to pass me the file information. So I don't need the fetch here. You got the file, you appended the file, and then you're just going to call upload image and pass me the form data. And so let's rename this. It's not a file. Let's say data like that. And this guy's going to be the data. It's going to be multi-part form data, post, fetch, Again, I don't know if it's going to be JSON this time, but we'll just keep it that way. All right, so let's try this out. We're going to need this terminal too, so to see what we get. So let's open, upload. So we're going to choose the file. We're going to submit the file, prevent the default behavior, construct a new form, append the file to the form, and then upload the image to the back end, and we'll see what we got on the back end. So the back end is going to be here, and it's going to be the upload. It's not going to be the server. I need the main routes. All right, so what's the route going to be? It's going to be the post route. So the files are going to come through here. We're going to use this, not this. I need the server. I need that page backup. Server.js. This guy right here. EF upload manager. And I've used it here. I've added this line. All right, so in our main routes, it's going to come here. So if you don't know what the Express file upload is, it's a wrapper for Busboy. And Busboy, it parsed multi-part form data, not JSON data. So it's a different beast. So to use Busboy, you'd need to do something like, I've used Busboy. I haven't used the Express. This is my first time using the Express file upload. Again, it wraps Busboy. So with Busboy, you need to do something like Busboy equals new Busboy. And then we do like I think you'd set the header to the request.header. So it parse the header for you. And then you'd need to do, there was like a whole bunch of listeners. So you'd have to listen like Busboy on file. So you listen for file. You listen for something called field. You listen for finish. So when it's finished. So you listen for a finish, and then within file, right here, these would be callbacks, right? Within file, you'd have to then listen for, what would you listen for? Busboy. I think it was file. So there would be like a stream right here. Would say stream. That would be the actual data, the stream. So then you have to do a stream.resume if you didn't want to handle the file. And then you'd have to listen for a stream.on end, so when it stops reading the file, and then you'd have to do something like pipe the request into Busboy. So rec.pipe into Busboy like this. So just a whole bunch of stuff. It's like a Busboy is to this Express upload what XHR is to fetch, and so it's all of this boilerplate stuff that you had to handle. With this new Express upload API, all you have to do is, you don't need any of this. You simply do this. So let's just console.log rec.files, and that's it. I think that's where it is. We'll see. So all that boilerplate stuff, like it's literally like 20 lines of code. We have it right here, rec.files. That's your file coming in. So let's upload the file and see what we get on the console here. All right. So we can clear this. Let's just do new page. All right. So let's choose a file. We're not going to do an image file. We're just going to do the package.json file. So we're going to upload that guy, and we're going to see what we get on this post this URI. Upload. And so there's it. Well, this is it. That's the file. This file name is the literal file. When we did the file image actions, we called it, actually it's an upload. We called it file here. If we change this file to, it depends. If we want to, however we want to name it. If we want to name it on the front end, the back end, whatever. But like if we named it like that, and then we uploaded the same file, we would get, why is it getting null? Oh, no file chosen. We did the package JSON, we uploaded. And so again, there we go. That'd be our file name, 2 oceans. But let's change it back to file. All right, so back to file, like that. So it successfully uploads. Where am I? Main routes. We've successfully uploaded it. It's in an array, so we need to, it's not an array, it's in an object. So we need to access that file like, let's just say .file, that's the name, .file. So let's upload it again and see what we're working with. Choose file, package JSON, upload. And so here we go. This is the file. It has a name, which is package JSON. The data, that's the buffer. The size, we have the encoding, we have the temp file path. This temp file path is part of the Express file upload API. What we're going to do is we can either write it to a disk, which is what we're going to do, or you can write it to a temp path, which Express file upload handles. This is the MIME type and the MD5. MD5 is what? I don't think I know. Like a checksum thing. All right, so we're going to write it to the, let's clean this up. I don't like the way this looks. So we're going to write it to the back end. We're going to need some place to write it. Let's do an images folder. So let's do images. But that's in the routes. Let's put in this source. So source images. We're going to write it into there. And so this object comes with, this file object comes with a bunch of methods and properties. With busboy, you'd need to properly pipe it into a writable stream. With this guy, you just use a simple property called move. If you're familiar with Bash, with Unix, it's the same thing, MV. So what we're going to do is when we get the file, we're going to do rec.files. It was called file, and we're just going to move it into a directory, this images thing. So this would be ./source/images, and then let's do this. Just in case, I don't know when we're going to name this file, but we're going to name it on the back end for now. Let's just do let file name equal temporary underscore file. And here we have MIME type, JSON, MIME type. We might have to do a bit of, because right now we're naming a temporary file. There's no extension to it. So I'm wondering how to get the extension from it. Might need to use the MIME type to get the extension. For now, we're just going to call it temp file. So we're going to move it into source images / and we do a plus file name like that. All right. So let's see what we get when we upload it. So package.json, or it might upload .json. We'll see. So we upload the image, gets to the back end, and we get an error, and the error is, what's the error? Temporary file is not defined, //////. File name was, okay. So it does work that way. I just didn't create a string properly, guys. Temporary file. So file name is temporary file. Might be time for a commercial break. All right, file name. And let's do it one more time. Unless we can get the actual file name from the file, which we can. So why am I doing that? Let's do this. rec.files.file.name. There we go. File name. All right, here we go. Let's upload the package.json, and we get on the left side here, package.json. All right, so we don't have to handle the extension ourselves. We just use the name. And there we go. So we've successfully uploaded a file. It's not an image file, but it doesn't really matter. We uploaded a file from the front end to the back end, and we saved it on our back end. So let's handle the other routes then. We're going to delete the image. We're going to delete the image. We're going to update image info. This has more to do with the database, so we won't do that right now. Anything having to do with the back end in this image. So delete image also has to do with the database, but we also need to remove the image from the hard drive, and the download image, we need to read it and then pipe it into into the response. All right, so let's go ahead and do that then. So we have the image on the server. Let's do the download image route. So we're going to upload the image to the front end. We're going to need to read the image. So we're going to need the file system package. So file system. File system package just allows us to read and open, read, write files. So we're just going to pipe it directly to the front end. So right here. We're going to need an image though. We have the package.json and this FJS. Let's do an actual image. So let me grab an image from my desktop. We'll throw it there. We'll use this guy here. That's going to be a JPEG. All right, so we need to open or read the image. So we could do an fs.open, and then we could put the path to the image, and then we do some flags like read. I think there's read plus, and there's read write. We're just going to open it as a stream and pipe it directly into the response object like this. So fs.create read stream. Perfect. And then it's ./source/images/ Jackie Chan hello what JPEG, and then we're just going to pipe it directly into the response object. So we don't need this guy anymore. So now we're uploading the image from the back end to the front end. We need to catch that on the front end, which is this guy right here, download images. So it's not going to be a JSON. It's going to be a blob. A blob is just a raw piece of data. I'll show you what it means or what it looks like. So you can put anything in a blob. What I'm about to show you, we haven't resolved the blob yet, but just understand when I show you the blob, not all blobs look like that. It's just like a blank slate of memory, a blank data type that you can put anything into. The structure of a blob comes from what you put in it. And I'll just show you in a second what the structure of this blob looks like. So I'm just going to log out the blob for you guys. And so we'll just name this guy my blob. There we go. My blob. And so download image, and then we'll do, instead of this upload, again, we're just testing this stuff out. So instead of uploading on the upload page, when I hit the upload button, we'll do a download like that. So it's going to download, that's going to hit this guy, it's going to download the image, it's going to resolve the blob, and then I'll show you guys what that looks like. So let's go to /upload like this. There we go. Now I'm going to hit the upload image button, type failed to fetch, empty response, no such file or directory. Source images. I said source image. So it should be source images like this. And there we go. Now when we do it, we get, all right, so this is what it looks like when it's resolved, but this is not the meat of the blob yet. So size this stuff here, and then we have the type. And so let me go ahead and open the blob, and I'll show you what that looks like. So let's go to file image actions. All right, so we need to read the blob with a file reader. So we need a let file reader equals new file reader like that. And then we have to listen for an event called a load. So when it loads the file like that. And then the meat of the blob is going to be in a property called fr.result. And then we actually associate the blob with the file. So read as data URL. A data URL is a URL but in data form. And so you're used to, say my blob there. So you're used to images being, save that, gallery image. Used to images being in this this format here with an HTTP, basically a URL. You can also represent an image as a data URL, which you're about to see. And so we can go here, we can go upload image. There we go. That's the data URL. So this is what a blob is. You can put any sort of text in a blob. It just happens to be this image data right here. And so the structure of a blob is blank. There's no structure to it. That structure comes from what you put into the file and what reads that file, and it expects a certain structure. So the structure to this image is 4 parts: data, and then the MIME type, and then an optional base 64, and then all this stuff here is the actual code for the data or for the image. So we can use this as a substitute for an actual URL, a data as a URL, to display the image. So that's what we're going to do. And so after we get the actual blob, we have to save it on the local storage of the ReactJS so the other component can have access to it. So we're just going to say set item. We're going to say image file. Keep in mind, when I'm doing this is not how the final product is going to work, because we're going to download more than one image. So we're going to have to retool how we think about saving the image to the local storage. And so we're just going to say fr.result like that. So now we've saved it to the local storage. We need to read it. So let's take this guy out. This guy goes back to upload. So gallery image is not going to have it's not going to do its own downloading, but just to test it out, we'll do its own downloading. So we're going to say, so we're going to need some sort of state here. Let me convert this into a class real quick. So class gallery image, and then we'll say extends React dot component like that. And we're going to need a constructor. We'll just say image data null for now. This function needs to go arrow, so handle submit. Also, it's going to be an async function because we need to wait for the image to download before we display it, unless we set it. Set data. Set. Anyways, it's not going to handle the image data, so it doesn't really matter right now. So we're just going to make it async for now. Async event arrow function. There we go. Prevent default. This return needs to be a render of a return. So render. There we go. Let's move this guy inside. All right. So now when we hit this form on submit, this needs to be scoped properly because it's a class. We need this. So when we hit this delete button, it's not going to delete. It's actually going to download for now. So we're going to say let response equal await of the download image function. Import it in right here. Import download image, JS actions. We need to return something. Do we need to return anything? Let's just return success. Normally you would not do this. Like we're just returning success. We're assuming success. Normally we'd have to account for the fact that this guy could break. This add event listener could break. So we'd have to do some sort of code in here to look for or measure whether or not this broke. And if it broke, we obviously wouldn't send success. But just for the sake of this app, it's a really small app. We're just going to assume that everything goes tickety-boo, and then we're going to return success. And so async await, we're going to do a if response is equal to success. SUCCSS. And what am I getting this for? Wait has no effect on this type of expression. Download image. It's because we're not returning the promise. So return that fetch, which is a promise. So if it's success, then we're going to load the image data into the state. All right, so let's do a this.set state. And the image data is going to be equal to local storage.get item. And that item was the image file or image data? Image file. Image file like that. And so that causes a re-render of the page, and then we can throw it in here like this. Image source. So instead of a URL, we'll just do the data as a URL, which is this.state.image data like that. Alt, we'll keep monkey for now. Who cares? All right, so when we hit the download button or the delete button here, it's actually going to download. It's going to wait for it to download. If we get a success response, it's going to set the image data state to the local storage, the data that we saved on the local storage. It's going to cause a refresh, and then we're going to get the image on the front end here. Let's see what we get. So we need to go to the gallery image component. Gallery image, perfect. So it's broken right now because that's a null. Then we hit delete image. There we go. So now we've successfully downloaded the image to the front end, and we're displaying the image. And before that, we had to upload the image to the back end and save the image on the back end. All right, so let me just, this gallery image stuff, it's not going to have its own state. It's going to have its state passed down to it from the gallery. So it doesn't need to be a class. It's going to be a function. Gallery image. We need the parentheses. We don't need a constructor. This is going to pass the props from the gallery. This guy needs to go back to a function. It's not going to be async. It doesn't need to be async. So handle submit. And he's not going to be deleting anything. It's going to be deleting. Well, he's going to be deleting anything. He doesn't need to be downloading anything. All right, so what do we need? Render. And then this guy doesn't need me to do this because we're not scoped. And this guy is going to be passed down from the props. And the props just going to be, just say image data. Image data or image file? Image data. All right. So we need the gallery open. The galleries is what's going to do the calling. So gallery, We don't need to return these guys. We're going to return a list. This guy needs to have some state. So class gallery, get rid of this, extends React.component like that. We need a constructor, and that's going to have, so we're going to have an array of images. So we're going to do images like this. It's going to be an empty array for now. And we need to put this in a render. Return the render like that. And we're going to need a loading function. So not just images, we need loading. Because while we're loading, we're going to say false. We can't display any images. Once we're loaded, then we'll display the images. So gallery class, So I'm going to take this guy from you and put you there. So we need to download image here, and then we need to download the images on our end right here. We'll do a function called populate page. So we'll say populate page, nothing for now. It'll probably be async, like that. Populate page. And so every time it mounts, we'll populate the page. So component did mount, and then we're going to call this .populate page, like that. And the populate page is what's going to do the fetching. So we can move all of this code into our populate page, which has to be async, because it has to wait for the image to download. So we'll say async, await, response. And so once component did mount, and we hit populate page, every time we hit populate page, it's going to be running a cycle of getting images. So we're going to be loading. So we need to set the state to loading. So set state. We're going to set our state to loading to be true. And then after it's set the state to true, that's when we execute our code. So that takes a callback like that. So we can put all this code inside of the second parameter of the set state. All right, so UL. So what we're going to say is we're going to add a ternary. So if loading is equal to true, we're just going to say, can I do an li here? What would register here? Let me just try. Li of loading. If it's not equal to true, which is loading equals to false, then we'll just populate with the array. So this .state.images like that. Let's see if that would work right. I just want to see if this works right now. So let me just take out populate. Just take out all this stuff here first. Let's see what we get on this. Gallery image loading is not defined for gallery. Search for keywords loading. This guy right here. It should be this .state.loading. And gallery image, unexpected use of event on gallery image. Am I using event somewhere? Event, prevent default. Event, there we go. All right, let's go back to the gallery. We get the loading. All right, so it does show as a, I don't like that, as a bullet point. We'll do this. Instead of putting this stuff here, we'll load the whole UL. Yeah, like that. Actually, no, let's do this. I'm going to go this .state.loading. If it's loading, then we'll just say loading, like that. Can I just put it like there? We'd have to put it in some sort of span. We'll just do an H2. H2 like that. Loading /H2. Else we'll just do a null. And then in this guy, the UL, you won't see anything. If it's loading, we'll put anything. We'll put it null, like that. And once it loads, it gets an image. So now we get the loading. Perfect. All right. So once we get the component did mount, calls populate page, sets to loading, and then we need to fetch the image, which is soon to be images. Once we get the success, then we have to construct a bunch of gallery images. So we're just going to say say temp image array equal this guy here. So what we're going to do is we're going to, and this is going to be called multiple times. So we're going to go image data. Image data is equal to local storage dot get item image file. So we have this image file. we have this image array. We'll push that into the image array. So temp.push image data. And then we loop through the array. So temp image array dot map. Not that. Temp image array dot map. And then we'll say that's the image data. And then we need to return a list item. So list item like this. And it's going to be a gallery image like that. And the prop was called, what was the prop called? Image, gallery image data. The prop was called image data. So image data prop, we're sending it to the gallery image, and that's going to be equal to the image from the map. So returning a whole bunch of these gallery images, one for now because we only have one image. So now we have a temp array image, and this is going to return an array. So we can just say, what if we can do that? Temp image array, blah, 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 blah. Actually, I don't think it would do that, would it? We'll see. I don't know if it'll overwrite the image array. There. And then we're going to set the state of the image data. Not the image data. This is going to be images, which is an array. Set the state of the images to our temp array, and we'll set loading back to false. Like that. Let's see what we get. Await download. Yeah, so since we have the async up here, but we call there's a new callback function here. Right here. This has to be async, not this guy here. The outer scope doesn't need to be async, the inner scope does here. So we'll take the async out in order for this await to work. So we'll take the async away from there. There we go. Nope, not like that, like that. We'll put the async here. There we go. And now what are we doing? Image download is fine, but never used. Upload. Let me get rid of these warnings. They're annoying. All right. So now we go to gallery. We get component did mount, populate page, loading true. Go here. Blah, blah, blah. I think I'm overwriting the temp image. Let me just see what's in the temp image array before I set the state. Nope. There it is. It's a bunch of React components. So images, and then we're doing this.state.images. Image data. Let me go into gallery image to see if it's getting the data. I'm going to say console.log props.image data like that. Why? Oh, it's in the return, like there. All right, so it's fresh. It's not getting it. Why is it not getting it? Props.image data, props.image data. Images is going to be, I'll put it right here, console.log this.state. Image. Plural. Make sure you pluralize your things if they need pluralizing. So this guy should be images, not image. Is everything else okay? This state loading, loading images, loading image data, save. There we go. All right. Clean that up. So now we have a gallery passing down I'll explain this error in a bit. We have a gallery passing down its data into the individual gallery images, and they're displaying right here with their file name, date uploaded, author, delete image. We'll take care of all of this data later. So this warning, each child in a list should have a unique key prop. That comes with React. So we need to send a key value down here. And for that, we'll just use the index of the item. So we index like this. It might be index image instead of image index. We'll see. So we'll just say key is equal to index like that. And unique key prop. So maybe key. Why would key not be there? Oh, I see. Maybe it's not the gallery image. List item. Key is equal to index like that. There we go. All right. Error's gone. Warning's gone. Our gallery is displaying its image. Let's do, all right, so we can upload, download. The state is being handled properly. Close this guy, close this guy. Should we handle multiple images or should we clean up the routes first? Let's just clean up the routes first since it's easy to do. So let's delete that image. And this one will be easy. When we delete the image, we're just going to delete the image off the hard drive, and then we're going to make a call to the database when we do it, just to delete the records off the database. So when they go to delete image, main routes, delete image, successful delete, that's okay to do that. For now, we're going to say fs.unlink. Unlink, blah, blah, blah. If there's an error, it'll be here. So if error, we'll just throw new error. We'll just say problem deleting. Like that. Else, we'll do a res of 200. And we'll return the JSON message like that. All right, so when they go delete, all right, let's check it out. And we'll refresh. And now we click that delete button. And on the back end, this Jackie Chan hello thing should go away. Delete image. And it went away. All right, so we can successfully delete now. So we can upload images, download images, delete images. And the update image will handle once we get the... How are we going to handle that? We're going to need form inputs. Actually, no. When they upload the image, we can take the file name. So they won't... I don't know if we want to have them modify the file name. No. They're not going to modify the file name. So they don't modify the file name. So all they're going to do is enter an author. That'll be the extent of the form we have in the upload area. So we're going to need in this guy an input, choose your file, and then we're going to say, so we're going to need a BR right here. No, just self-closing tag. And then we're going to say another input. And this is going to be type equals text. And the name is going to be image underscore author. And the ID, in case we need it, again, image score author, like that. And on change, we need to handle on change. So on change, we need to go this dot handle change. And for this one, we'll do author like this. We'll send a string author. So we have one function taking care of both changes, but we need to check for which one. We have a special parameter that checks for which this is image, which change they're invoking. So right now in this dot handle change, it just handles the event. Oh, it's handling the event. So maybe we need to. All right, so we don't need this. We can just check the event.target. So take that away. So they both use the handle change. We need to check which one's calling it. So let me just console.log the event.target first, and let me see if I can, what it's going to look like. No such file or directory. Upload Y. File directory Jackie Chan what? API delete image. Did I call delete image? Oh, gallery loading. All right, let me put that image back on the back in there, or else it's just gonna do that. There we go. So at least you know the gallery is loading without us, right? Oh, to restart the server, nodemon server.js. There we go. Restart our app. There we go. All right, let's go to the upload component /upload. There. Now when I hit choose file, event.target should be, or upload image should be. Why did this upload image? This dot set state. What's going on here? Form on submit, handle submit, handle change. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Upload image. I clicked the wrong button. Really need to structure that better. Hold on. So this button is not part of this guy. It's part of this guy right here. Let me restart the server. So nodemon server.js, like that. All right. So now I'm going to go here, choose file, input type. Can I read property 0 of null? Oh, shoot. There we go. All right. So it's going to be event.type.text. Can we get target.id like that? ID is image author, which is true. ID is, let me just choose a file. Let's go kiss.png, image to upload. All right, so I can use the ID. So if the ID event.target.id is equal to the image one, so image, that was image to upload, right? Yeah, image to upload, and then we're going to do the usual upload. So with this guy here, so they can do the submit. Else, we'll do the author. We don't need this is the file. We'll do author right here, author, and that's an empty string. Well, this dot set state. This dot set state of the author to the what would be the text? It'd be target.text, maybe event.target.text. .value. Let's try that. And let me just display it here to see if we get it. Console.log this.state.author. All right. F lala. All right, good. So we're getting the author name. Let's do choose your file. Let's go here. Choose your file. Put author. Author like that. All right, so we get an author. We got to choose your file. Put more break in there. Author, choose your file, upload image, and we'll put that upload image on the bottom, like that. Do 4 like that. All right, choose your file. No file chosen. I want some spacing here. Choose your file. Choose your file. It's 4 spacings. 1, 2, 3, 4. Author is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Choose your file. No file chosen. And then they upload image. All right. Normally I do a check on whether or not they had an author so that we prevent them from uploading. But we're not going to do that for this. We're just going to say a default author. So default author is going to be, I don't know, just say default like that. So if they don't put an author, it's going to upload on the back end as default, which is not a good thing to do. But for now, we're just going to say author's default. So we've been author default, this dot set state author, blah, 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 set state, set state. And so when they handle submit, form append the file, and then we need to form append the author. So CW author like that. And then we need to form append the this.state.file, which is this.state.file is going to be the file. I need the file name. That's going to be author. So the file is file 0. We need to set the file name as well. So say file name is equal to event. Where am I? Let's get this off the screen. There you go. Event.target.files 0.file. I think it's underscore name. Not sure. Let's make sure I'm sure. So let's say console.log event.target.files 0 and see what we get. All right, so choose file. Let's say kiss.png, and we get property files of undefined. Event.target.files. Event.target.files. Let's do this. Let's try again. Choose file. Kiss.png. There we go. All right, so we get it's not file name, it's just name. So we'll take the name. We don't need the type. So we'll take the name from that guy. All right, so delete that. We'll need the file name, event.target.files o.name. So we need to put that in the state up here. File name, just empty like that. So when we send that, we need here. Append the file and the file name, this.state.file name like that. So we're sending the file, the actual file, the file name, and the author. And this is what we're going to have on the back end as well. So we upload all that to form data, form upload image right here. Right, not right there, right here. Multi-part form data. All right. Props form URL request props. So on the back end we get upload image rec files file name like that. Oh, we already have the file name on the back end. All right, doesn't matter. Let's just do a console.log rec.body. I'm looking for the author right now. So on the back end right here in the console, I should get the body, the author. So let's choose a file. Let's say kiss.png. Author is me. I go to, let me close this, and upload image. And I get file name, kiss.png, author me, and then the file, or rec.files, which is being handled by the express upload, file upload. We get the best of both worlds. So we can handle the rec.body with body parser, and then we handle the files with the express file upload. We just need to upload that to the database. Let's do update is going to be a bit different. We have to, we're only allowing them to modify the author. It's arbitrary, but who cares? So let's just say new author is equal to rec.body, and it's going to be author like that. And then we're going to do update database right here. And then we'll do the res response. For the upload image, we need to move it into this guy, file name. And there should be a callback. Is there a callback with rec files, files.move? There might not be. Hold on, let me check files.file. File path name. All right, so it doesn't have a callback. So we need to handle the, so it doesn't have a success or fail. All right. So there's no success or fail, so we'll do our own try. If you're moving this and it's successful, you're great. Also, you catch an error. And then we're going to just throw new error. We're going to say problem saving file like that. Now, if it successfully moves here, then we'll move on to updating. It wouldn't be updating. It would be insert new record in database like that. File name, keep that. We're going to need let author equal rec.body.author. All right. So we're just prepping our backend REST API for the database. So when we download an image, do we need to do anything for the database? No, we don't. Create read stream. Let's just do a proper try catch for this. Try. And then we'll do a catch. Error. And then so if there's something happens with the reading of the file, we'll just throw a new error called throw new error. And we'll say problem reading image like that. And then don't need that problem reading image. All right, author we don't use yet. Delete image. We'll unlink if there's an error. There's no error. Else we'll do a delete record from database like that. And that should have a callback function with that we can send back a response status. If not, we'll have to do another try catch there. All right, so we're prepped for the database. Download image is good. Throw new error. Upload image is good. We get the file plus the file name plus the author. We're going to try saving it to the hard drive. If that fails, then we have a problem saving file. If that succeeds, then we can move on to inserting the new record into the database. And if that fails, we'll take care of that. And then we do a res.status.json. Let's put it here for now. All right. And then we have the delete, which deletes it. If there's an error, it throws that error. If it doesn't, there's no error and it deletes successfully, then we'll delete the record from the database. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Then let's wire up the database. So let's open up MAMP. We'll start the server. It's on port 8888. Let's see if I have it in my history. All right. Should be MAMP like that. Yeah, so localhost 8888/MAMP once you get these servers up and running. So let's widen this guy. Let's go to the PHP MyAdmin tools right here. All right. And close this. ReactJS, the images table. And we have all of these guys here. We're not going to use the file because we're saving the file on the server. So we're not saving the file in the database, but we can just leave that there for now. We can delete it later if we want. All right, so let's wire the backend to the database. We're going to need a MySQL connection. So MySQL is equals, or the package, so MySQL. We're also going to need the moment. This is going to let us handle the date modified and date created stuff. Real simple. Moment like that. So we're going to create a connection pool. We can go one connection at a time, but then we'd have to wait for the connection to close to the database and then send another connection. With a connection pool, we can have one user sending multiple connections to the database simultaneously. So we're just going to say const pool is equal to MySQL.create. There we go. Create pool. And it's an object that takes a bunch of parameters or properties. The first one will say connection limit, not timeout, connection limit. And we'll say 10 per person. And then we'll do the host, which is localhost, of course, localhost. And that's operating on port. Now your PHP tools are operating on port 8888. Your server, your database is not operating on the same port. It's actually, so this guy right here that lets you monitor your database, that's port 8888 right up here. But the database is operating on a different port. And that port is right up here. So localhost 8889. So this guy's 8889. And then we have the username. I made mine ReactJS. And the password is password. Don't ever do that. Password. And then we have the database we're connecting to. And that was the ReactJS gallery. All right, so we have the connection pool. Let's do the upload image route first. Now, what I want to do is I want to take away this guy right here. See all this /source/images? We need to make that a constant or like some sort of environment variable, because if we change the directory of where we store the images, we have to go through every single line using that and change every single line. So we're just going to make one constant called saving image dir. Now saving images dir, and we're just going to make that into the ./source/images/ like that. And then we're going to replace all of the occurrences with that global or that constant variable. So that was saving images _dir plus that Jackie Chan hello. And of course this Jackie Chan hello what, it's going to be a variable as well. They're going to send it either in as a get or a post request. So saving images, anywhere we have the /images/source/images right here is another one. So that's the constant. This one we can change as well. This is the saving images dir. This one we can change as well. And this is the saving images dir plus the string. And again, this string is also going to become a variable that they'll send in a get or a post request. All right, so all right, good. So we've saved or changed it all. All right, so once they upload the image, they've successfully saved it onto, or we've successfully saved it onto our hard drive. We're going to insert that new record. So we're going to need a new connection to the database, which is the pool. We're going to say get connection. Now, if we don't get it, we're going to get an error. If we do get it, we're going to get the actual connection. So if we get an error, we're just going to throw the error. So if error, then we're going to throw new error. And we're going to say problem connecting to database like that. But if we get the actual connection, then we'll respond properly. All right. So we're going to craft the SQL statement right now. So we're going to use an insert statement. We're going to do it in 3 variables, and I'll tell you why in a second. So we're going to have the actual statement. That's going to be a string. I'll just double quote. We're going to have the values associated with that statement. Again, I'll tell you exactly why we're doing this. And then we're going to have the actual statement, the query. And we'll just say null for now. And so the statement is going to be, it's going to be insert into the table is images. And we're going to have all of the values of the images or in the field. So let's do here, all of these guys here. And again, we're not using the file column because we're saving the image on the hard drive. So we're going to mimic these guys here. So we're going to need an ID to insert an ID. That's going to be auto-generated, so we're not going to actually insert an actual value. I'll show you in a second. We're going to insert an author. Get more room there. An author like that. We need the file name. Yes, we do. File name. We need the directory. Of course we do. And that was the constant we just set up, directory. And then we need the file. No, we don't. We need date uploaded like this. And then we need date modified. Date modified. All right. And then we get the values. This is just an SQL statement. So insert into images, these columns, and then these values. The first value for ID, we don't enter one. If we entered one, it would break because it's an auto increment. So we enter null. Null is a type, SQL type. So it understands when you insert null, that it's going to auto generate. All right, so we got null, and then we have one author, file name, directory, date uploaded, and date modified, which are 5 values that we need to account for. So we're going to put placeholders like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And that's the end of our SQL statement. Now we need to enter the values in this array, and then this query marries, this query right here, it marries the values and the statement for a reason. I'll get to it in a second. And so for the author, we're going to set these guys up here. This is our author, this is our file name. So values. So the first item in our values array syncs up with the first question mark here, and that first question mark here syncs up with this author field here. So the author is going to be author, the file name is going to be file underscore name, directory is going to be that constant we set, the date uploaded, that's what I forgot to do. So date uploaded and date modified, that's why we have the moment package. So we're just going to say current date is equal to moment, and we're going to say format, and we're going to take year, we're going to say month, we're going to say day, hour, minute, second. There we go. And so that's going to be our fourth and our fifth values. Current date, current date. Now with this query, we're going to do MySQL.format, and we're going to format the statement with the values. Now why are we doing this, and why are we not just entering these values even as like a string or a template literal, string or template literals? We could have done like insert into, and then go images like that. And then we can go, I'll put one column right here for now. We say author, and then we can go values. And then instead of having these values in a separate array, we can just do something like the author would be the author like that. Why aren't we doing this? And why are we instead doing this format stuff? Well, this line right here, this line 48, it doesn't check whether or not the author is a valid author. And what I mean by valid author, I mean, what if someone hijacked your user's account, and instead of putting a legitimate author, we're assuming they put like, I don't know, like Sandy or whatever, right? What if they put something like this for the author? Delete star from table images like this. If we don't check that what they're sending in for their variables is an SQL, this SQL statement would run on the back end database. This is what we call SQL injections. And so what we need to do, what SQL, this package lets us do, is by separating the statement and the values and then using their format method. This method checks whether or not these values are SQL statements, and if it does, if they are, it rejects the query. It gives you back an error, or I don't know what it does. I think it just throws an error. And so this does what we call sanitizing the string. It makes sure no one's sending bad data or bad values to your database. And so that's why we're separating the statement values. We're calling the specific MySQL.format to check whether or not the values are valid non-SQL statements. All right, so we have the actual query. Now we need to send that query to the back end with the connection that we got from the pool right here. So we do that with I think it was connection.query. So we're sending the query, and that'll give us an error, or that'll give us a result. All right, why is it doing this? Delete that, perfect. All right, so if we get an error, not error, we can throw that error. We'll go throw new error, and we'll just say problem inserting new record. There we go. And dot, dot, dot. All right, if there's no problem, no error, then we know we've inserted it successfully, and then we can just send back a proper successful post JSON message to the front end. And so after we've queried the actual connection, we've sent the query to the connection, and we know whether or not it succeeded or failed. Doesn't matter if it succeeds or failed, you need to close that connection. So you do connection.release like this. So let's test this guy out. On the front end, we're going to trigger upload image. It's going to get the file name, the author. It's going to save it to our hard drive. If that's successful, if it's not successful, it triggers this try block, and it goes to the catch and goes problem setting file. But if it's successful, it moves on to the inserting new record into database. We get one of the connections from the pools that we set up here, 10 per person. This just uses one. If error, there's going to be another throw to the error. If not, we're going to get the current date, the statement, the values. We're going to check, sanitize the values, and then we're going to send that query to the connection. If there's an error, we throw a new error. If not, we send a successful post or a successful message to the front end indicating that their record and their image were saved successfully. These status codes right here, they're not accurate. 200 is like universal A-OK. I think the universal for like record inserted is like 203, but we're just going to keep this 200 for now. We might go back and change it later. You can change it, doesn't really matter for this. And after we're done getting an error or a success, we release the connection. So let's go ahead and save or upload an image from the front end and see if we get a record in here on this page. All right, so let's go to the upload route, /upload. Let's choose a file. Say tequila. The author is going to be me. Yeah, whatever, me. All right, so we upload the image. We get a message successful post. We get on our server right here, we get the post. We know we triggered the upload image 200. Well, we get the status code 200. The image is right here, tequila, on the left, so it's saved successfully to the hard drive. And now let's check if it inserted the record into the database. So go here, and we just hit a refresh. And there we go. There's the record. So what we have here, if I can get this window properly now. Can I just, whatever, maximize. All right. So we have the ID, which was auto-generated. We have the author, which I said me. We have the file name. We have the directory it's saved under, the file we're not using. And then we have date uploaded and date modified. So we've successfully uploaded an image to our REST API. The REST API successfully saved it and inserted a record into the database. Now what we're going to do is we're going to handle the delete. Yeah, we'll handle the delete route right now. So we can copy and paste some code. All of this is the same. This try catch block with the connection pools. Actually, not even the try catch. We'll just copy the connection pool like this. Pool. What do we need? This was the whole guy right here. Yank that. Let's go down to the delete image, and we delete the record here. All right. So we're not going to be needing these guys here. Let's just do, what am I going to do? We're going to be testing out deleting the tequila.png. So this guy has to come from a file name. Right now this guy's hard-coded. Let's change that to a variable. Now I looked it up. We can either do rec.body, so we can send data in the body of a delete request. Now the bad thing about that is some systems treat that as a malformed or a invalid HTTP request. So we're not going to do that. We're going to instead do it the recommended way, which is as a parameter in the URL. So we just do a /, a colon, which indicates to express that the next string that follows is to be treated like a variable. So we're going to send the name of the file that we want to delete in the request to fetch the URL. So we're going to capture that with a let file name equal, we're not going to change this file name, so we're going to do const file name is equal to rec.params.file name like that. And so this Jackie Chan hello what can be turned into a variable called file name. So we delete that from the hard drive, problem deleting. If not, we come down here, we open the connection, problem connecting to the database. Let's change these statements. We don't need the date. The statement is going to be a delete statement. So it's going to be delete from, it's going to be, what's the table name? Images, where, and then it's going to be the field name, the column name is file name. No underscore is equal to our placeholder. And the only value we need is that file name. File name like that. And then we create the query string. We enter the query string. If there's an error, it's not inserting, it's deleting record like that. And successful delete. No, successful post. No, it's successful delete down here. Grab this guy, put him up into here. Delete these two blank lines. Format. All right, successful delete, connection release. Perfect. So we're sending the image file name through the URL. We delete it off the hard drive with unlink. If successful, we delete it from the database. Delete from images where file name is equal to placeholder, placeholder is equal to values, do a semicolon, query. All right, let's go to the front end here. So the delete button is going to be on each individual image. How is each image going to know what file name it is? That's a question. All I know is we're going to pass it down from the gallery just like we passed down the image data from the gallery. So this is going to send props.file name like this. And so we need the gallery to send the file name down. But the file name is not associated, or it's not in the actual data of the file itself. We're going to have to get that from the GET requests. So for right now, we're going to have to hard code that into here. So we're just going to say file name is equal to, and we're going to test out tequila. Tequila.png like that. And again, this file name is going to be dynamic, or it's going to be tailored to the actual file name, just like the, right here. We're going to store it. Let me write that line, but just, we're going to do a let. We're going to say let file name is equal to local storage.get item. And this is going to be, we'll just do image file name like that. And so that process has to come with the get process, or it's just store. Right now we're getting it. We have to set it in the download route, which is right here. So again, I'll just write it here just for a reminder what we're going to do. Local storage.set item. And how we get this, I don't know right now. Image file name. And this is going to be some sort of variable here of the file name. Again, how we get that file name, it's probably going to come through the download. It's probably going to come through a variable here. But whatever, we're working on the delete route. And so the delete route, once I press that button, it's going to get its file name from gallery. It's going to execute down here. Not here. Download image, not here. Delete image. So this is where we send the file name. So I'm just going to append it right here. So slash plus and then file name, which is passed through as a parameter or as an argument. So we don't need author. So file name, delete, res.json, log any sort of error. And so when I hit delete, it's going to come into here. We're going to capture the file name, remove it from the hard drive, remove it from the database, and we're golden. All right, so let's test this thing out. Let's go to the front end. Right now we're not displaying tequila. And if we were to display, I'm going all over the place right now. What I'm thinking of is if we delete, let's say this was tequila. Right now this is a Jackie Chan. If this was tequila and then we successfully deleted it and then we went to the gallery and then it tried to search for an image called tequila, but it didn't find it, it would throw an error. And I don't want the program to break like that. So I'm going to fix that right now before we move on. So download image, which is what it would need. So this is in a try catch problem reading image. Instead of throwing an error, let's just say we're going to go back with a response of a status, and we'll say everything went A-OK. Again, we don't really So in order to solve this in the real world, what we'd have to do is check if this image exists first and then do the creating a read stream. I don't really want to do that right now. So we're just going to send a request that says everything went A-OK in terms of you sending a request, and we're sending a response. But what we found was message, no images in database, like that. If there's no file there, we won't crash the server. We'll just send a response to the front end saying no images in database. So let's go ahead and delete that image. Let's go. So when I click this, it should delete the image off, should delete tequila off here on the left. And then when we check the database, it should delete this record right here. So cross your fingers, delete image. What do we get? So we successful delete. The image is off on the left here on the server. That's to be expected. We got that working already. Now let's check the database. Is the record deleted? And the record's deleted. All right. So we successfully deleted the record from the database and the image off of the server's hard drive. All right. So before we get into the update image info route down here, where is it? It's down here. Yeah. Before we get to that, let's clean up the download image. We're going to update it. We're going to make sure we have a file to read before we actually create the read stream, and we're going to make the file name a variable instead of being hard-coded. So let's tackle the case where if the file doesn't exist, what do we do? So we're not going to need the try or the catch. What we're going to do is we're going to do an fs dot, I think syncs, no, not sync, it should be exists sync. There we go. This will just create or return a Boolean if the file exists. So I'm just going to copy this directory here, or this line here. So right now it's checking if Jackie Chan hello what exists. We're going to need that to be a variable. So we're just going to code it like the delete route where we had the param. Just going to do slash, and we're just going to go file name like this, and then we're going to get the file name with a request.params dot, and it's just going to be a file name like that. So instead of the Jackie Chan, we'll just do file name. So if this file name exists, it returns a true. So if that returns a true, then we will open the create read stream and pipe it back into the response. If not, then we'll send the res status that no image was in the database. Let's say no images. No image, there we go. All right, so we have this on our back end that we have a parameter now in the URL. We have to change that in the front end as well. So file image actions, this download image now expects a file name. We need to append that file name to the URL. So just do a plus file name like that. We get the blob, blob, blob. And so we're going to know the file name so we can uncomment this guy. So we've set the file and the file name in the local storage of the front end. So we're going to read that from the gallery because the gallery passes down the file name to the gallery image. So populate page, you're going to download, await download, populate page right here. Image file name, download image. We're going to need to pass a file name like that. File name. And instead of this file name tequila, we're passing the actual file name. File name like that. All right, so populate page, downloads file name. How's it supposed to know which file name? We're going to fix that in after the update image info. We're probably just going to have, we're going to ping the database. We're going to have a separate route. Excuse me. We're going to ping the database. We're going to get all the files associated with the user. And we're just going to loop through and call this download image method function multiple times. But for now, this file image name, we'll hardcode this one to Jackie Chan hello what.jpg. All right, so the gallery image has the file name. That doesn't change. Delete image, perfect. Source, props, image data, alt, monkey. We can change that. The alt text will just be the file name. So props dot file name like that, not payment response, props. There we go. All right, file name. Let's see if we broke the code. Let's go back here. Perfect. So it's uploading Jackie Chan. Hello, what? Do we have any other images I could test this out with? We don't. How about let's just move on to the update image info route. All right, so I can close this. Let me close the gallery. Update image info down here. So we're going to need to change this update image info route. We're going to need the file name they want to change, and then the author they want to change. And so let's go back to the back end here and the upload image route here. And so we need to change this guy here. All right, so we need the first URI's update image info. And then we need the file name, and then we're going to need the author they want to update the image with. We could have made this thing a post, but conventions are that if you're going to update some sort of image on the back or data on the back end that already exists, that you use put to signify an update, and then you put the parameters in the URI like this. And so we know we're going to get a file name and an author now. So this guy's not going to come from the body. It's going to come from the params. So we'll do that params, and then we need the let file name here. Again, coming from the params, file name. And so we're going to update the database here. We're just going to take the code from let's do an insert. We just need the SQL stuff like this. We don't need to try anything. We'll see. So let me just take the pool here. Take this guy here. So let me paste it right here. Then we can take the response, and it's going to be a put, not a post. And let's change up the SQL. Current date, we won't need that. We will need to modify the modified or the date modified column in the table. Modified, that'll be current date. This is going to be update images, and we're going to set author to equal a placeholder, and we're going to set the date modified to also equal a placeholder where file name. Is it file underscore name or is it file dash name? Let's check. It's one word, file name. So where file name is equal to another placeholder. And that should be our statement. So for our values, we'll need the update set author is equal to new author. The date modified is going to be equal to date modified. And where file name is going to be equal to file name, like that. All right. Statement values, format it, throw it in. Problem not inserting, but updating. Record. And then if we get a good update, successful put. All right, so the back end for this update route looks pretty good. Update image info, we'll update this comment here. It's going to be file name. It's going to be author like that. It's going to be a put, update image put, return status 200. Perfect. All right, let's go fix this on the back or the front end. So file image actions. We're going to expect, not an object. We'll change that just to file name and author like that. And so when we send it, we're going to send this URL. We're going to do / plus, it's going to be file name. We'll do a plus, we'll do a /, and then it's going to be single quote that, /, and then we're going to add on to the author like that. We send it, put, we'll get the res.json, print out the error. All right, so let's go to the actual form on the gallery image right here. All right, so what I'm about to do, don't do in real life, but we're just doing it because it doesn't really matter. It's just like a simple little app to show you guys how to save and download and upload images to the back end. And so we need to take this delete button, excuse me, take it out of the form, and we're going to just change this to on click, I think it is. On click, and that's going to be equal to handle submit. We're going to make a new function here. Handle delete like that. I'm going to copy this code. There we go. So this handle or on click is going to be not this. It just needs to be handle delete. And so why did I do that? I took it out of the form because the form is going to need to submit some text, which is the author. So we're going to need an input text. So you can do this. What I'm doing right now, you can do this in real life. What I'm about to do not do in real life. And I'll explain why. So ID, we'll just say name, author like this, author, ID, author. And we need a reference to this. So I don't want to convert this whole gallery image into a class just to hold the state of the input. Because right now, once they input the new author and they hit submit, there's no way to get the value of this input without either three ways. Without converting this to a class and then having a constructor and then managing the state of this input through the class, or we can use React hooks, or we can do what I'm about to do, which is create just a simple reference, which you should not do because it's not married with the React class. ReactJS documentation dictates that you don't abuse refs like this, but for the sake of this app, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to create a ref like this. I'm going to say new author is equal to react.createRef, like that. And so the problem with this is this new author isn't tied to the state of anything. So if this new author you need it's in some other components of your app, it's gonna be difficult. That's why we either convert it to a class or we use React hooks. But for this, we're just going to create a simple ref. And we're going to pass that ref in here. Ref, we're going to associate it with the input. And we'll just say, what did I call it? New author. Like that. So now when I save and I go back to our form, I'll show you what I mean. Let's go here. So I created a ref to this text box here. Let me print it out. So when I click on the form submit, the handle submit now, it won't be in the event. It'll be in this ref up here. So we can access that with console.log new author. And it's going to be in something called current. And it's going to be the value. So I go back here. I'll just laugh. Delete image, which is not going to call delete image, or actually it is. We're going to need a button to submit this. Button submit. Say change author, just for now. All right, laugh, hit change author, and I get the value printed out here. So now that we have the new author they entered, we can use the update image info method. Update image info. We can call that in the handle submit. We'll go update image info, and that expects the file name, which we got from props.filename. And we get the new author, which is the, I'm not going to create a new variable for this. I'll just code it like this. New author.current.value, like that. All right, let's clean up the code. So update image info goes here. It gets the file name author, appends it to the URL, file name /author. That goes to the back end here, which triggers file name /author. We get that through the params, and then we update the database right here. So let's go ahead and upload a different image to the front end, and then we're going to modify that author. So let's go to /upload. Let's choose a file. Let's say the author is me. Upload image, success. Yep, it's on the back end, or it's in the folder. Let's see if it's in the database. And there it is. All right. So let's go to the main page to see the image. And we have this Jackie Chan because we hard-coded the file name for now. So let's change that. Let's go to gallery. And it's not Jackie Chan we want. It's going to be, where is it? It's on the left here somewhere. kiss.png. All right. Kiss.png. Let's check back. Do we have it on the right here? Kiss.png. Why is that not main routes? which would be gallery hits image actions, main routes to database, download, and right here, we forgot to not hard code it here. It should be the file name. So file name like that. Now let's check. Do we get, there we go. All right, so we got the image, we got it on the back end. Let's change the author. Let's just say Rex like that. We'll hit change author, which is trigger the update image info route. Let's change author and we get a successful put. We get a successful request down here. Let's check the database. So right now the author's me, refresh, and the author is, boom, Rex like that. All right, so we can download, we can delete, we can update images. Now we just need to make all of this make sense on the front end, specifically downloading multiple images, and then we're going to pretty this thing up. So let's go ahead and create a new route for that. We're going to create a route that sends back a sort of like an inventory list of all of the images on the back end. We're going to send that list to the front end, and the front end is just going to loop through and do multiple fetches for those images. So we'll put that guy before this route here. So you can copy that, paste that. Let's do download image. We'll name this route get inventory. Inventory, get API, get inventory. And we'll do like a, again, this is outside the scope of this app, but for whatever, we'll just do a parameter that says the author. So we'll get all of the images associated with the author, return status 200, get inventory. We'll do a router dot get. We need the, we'll do get inventory, and then we'll do an author. That'll be in the params. We need the request, the response, and then the arrow function. And then we get the author. So const author is just going to be equal to rec.params. We'll just say author. And so we'll just copy the code for one of the connections here. Copy this guy. So again, all we're doing is we're going to query the backend and get all of the images associated with a certain author. Copy, paste it in here, like that. This will be insert a new record. No, this will be get images associated with author variable. So problem connecting database, that's okay. Current date, will we need? No, the statement's going to be different though. It's going to be, we're going to select all images. So let's do, what's the name of the images? File name it is. So we're going to select file name from, and the table is images, where author, AUTHOR, is equal to placeholder. And then in the array, all we need is the author, like that. We format, we get it back. I'm not sure how the results, what they look like, so we'll just log it out and we'll see. So result, it's going to be an object or an array. Status.post, let me just, we can log it out here. We can just send it to the back end or to the front end. We'll do both. And we're releasing the connection, problem not inserting. Let's say problem fetching inventory. Problem fetching inventory. All right, so we have our route on the back end that is going to get all of the file names associated from the images or associated with the author from the images table. Let's code it on the front end. Let's just put it in a button for now. It's going to be in the gallery anyway, so let's do it on there. Gallery. We'll do another, should we do another button? No. Handle submit, update image, handle delete. Oh, this is a gallery image. Wrong component, that's why it didn't make any sense. Gallery.js, there we go. Populate page. So instead of all of this for now, we're just going to call a different function that we have to define in the functions. So let's comment out that. We're going to say, we have to set the state to true in order to see it. All right, let's go to the file image actions, and we're going to say, copy that. We're going to say this export function is going to be just get inventory. Inventory, We're going to send it an author, and then it's just going to do a fetch URL localhost get inventory. We're going to append the variable author like that. And then we need the fetch. Do we need props? No, we just need the fetch. Which is why am I putting it in a separate variable? It's just a waste of code. Just copy this guy here. Copy that. Put that there. All right. API get inventory author. There we go. Method is not delete. It's just the get. So we don't need this. We don't need this. There we go. Then res.json. Console log the parsed. And if there's an error, send the error. Export. So let's go into our gallery. Let's import that function. Get inventory. We're going to call that function here, and let's see our back end, what we have Rex. We'll say Rex for now. Populate page. Let's do this then. Let me not comment all this stuff out. Actually, hold on. That was get inventory. I'm just going to put it, instead of calling a function to call the thing, I'm just going to put it as soon as the page loads, just to test that the function works. So we'll comment this guy out here. And we're just going to say get inventory. Inventory, and the author is just going to be Rex like that. And then we'll see on the bottom here. Look at that. It actually went to get inventory. And it sent it back in the JSON. File name kiss.png. So it's going to be an array, row packet. I don't know if how's it breaking down, whether I need to go into row packet. Let's go into the back end. Just trying to figure out how it's sending the result to us so I can break it down properly. Console log result. So let's say file name like that. Now let's refresh the app, and we get undefined. So it might be row packet data, or it's a object result.file name. Looks like an array. Looks like an array. Array like 0 and then file name. Let's refresh. Yeah, so it's an array of objects with file names in them. Let's see what happens when we upload more than one image. I want to see how it's stored. Let's go to our front end. Let's go to the upload and upload an image /upload like that. And I'm going to upload the Jackie Chan hello. So let's delete it off the back end. It's not in the database, so it won't screw up anything. So I'm going to delete that. And we're going to upload it so it actually gets uploaded to the database. All right. Should be my desktop. Desktop, Jackie Chan, hello what? The author, will do the same author because I want to see how it's arranging the data. Upload the image. Successful upload. Is it on the back end? There it is. And now when we go to gallery, we have 2 images associated with the Rex. And let's see how it's managing the data. Oh, I did this. Just go to result like that. Refresh. All right, so it's an array. Each array element has a file name associated with it. So if I send back the array instead of successful post, yeah, we'll send a message and we'll send the what should I name it? Inventory? Sure. Inventory, we'll do result with an S, results. Results. And then when I go to the front end, file image actions, it's going to console log on the front end here. So I get to see what it's like. It crashed. Why did it crash? Result is not defined. Console.log results. There we go. Refresh. All right, here we go. Here's our message, successful post, and it's an inventory, which is an array. And each array has an object. Each object has a file name. So let's save this guy somewhere. It's going to be on the gallery. So the gallery needs an S state, which is good. These images are not going to be stored here because the gallery image needs it, and that gets it from the local storage. But these images can be the inventory. Just so I don't screw up anything, let me just create a new variable here. Inventory, like that. And for now, that's just going to be an empty array. So once I get the inventory, which is going to be returned from getInventory, which we need to be in async, because we need to wait for the response of the inventory before we start looping and populating the page. And so let's do component did mount. This guy's going to be in here anyways. Async, we'll do like this. So this response, we're going to let response equals getInventory. Or let inventory response of that equals getInventory, which means we need an await. And we need to make sure we properly code this to return this guy here. So returning a fetch is a promise. We use this promise here. This sends back a promise. This await tells the JavaScript to actually wait for the promise to resolve, which is to say, wait for the list to actually come back. That's going to be in the inventory response. In the inventory response, we have something called the message. And so if inventory response dot message, would it be message, and then the other one's an array of inventory, right? Yeah, so we have a message and we have inventory objects. So if the inventory response message is equal to, what's the response we're getting back? Let's not do successful post, because it's not a successful post. We'll just say success like this. SUCCESS, all right. So if that message is equal to success, we know we got the list back. And then we're going to loop through and do multiple fetches for the images. So let's go ahead and create that loop for the list then. We're going to have for let I is equal to 0, and it's going to be less than the length of the list. So we get the list from the inventory response. So we have the message, and then we'll just say list is equal to inventory response dot, and it was called inventory like that. So I is less than that list length, increment I, that's th, I++, and put all this code in this loop. We need to download the image first, and then once we have a successful response, then we'll do our if conditional like this. And so we can stop hard coding the image. The download image is going to be from the list. So list I, and that's going to be the file name. Now, where else am I going to use this file name? This file name, let's do this first. So we're getting the item. We have to store the item differently. We're storing it in two parts, the file name and the file. So let's go to the image actions here. All right, so here we're setting two different values. We're going to get rid of this guy, and we're just going to set the key to the actual file name, and then the value is going to be the actual file data. So this guy can just be the file name like that. All right, so on the gallery, we're not going to get something called image file name. We're going to get the file name or the value using the file name. So this guy can also be list I. I'm using it twice. Where else am I going to use this guy? List I, file name. Probably going to use it here. So I'm using it 3 times. I might as well put it in a separate variable here. So let say file name equal, it's going to be list I dot file name like that. Right there. So I can just shorten this to file underscore name. File underscore name. This guy can be also file underscore name. And then this guy's going to be file underscore name. How are we going to show the image data? All right, so currently we're setting an array here of images. But this code says, this code was okay for one image, because we'd get the image and then we'd loop through some array and we return all of these gallery images in the array. But the thing about looping through multiple images is you don't know when the image is going to successfully download. And so the timing's off. It's not all at one time. So we can't do this, or at least I don't see how we're going to do it like this. We're going to have to set the state or update the state as each image comes in. So this code won't do. So we're going to refactor or just redo this whole thing. I'm just going to comment it out in case it breaks. And so we have the image data here from the local storage. We need to set the images array or update the images array within the set state instead of this way here. So let's recode this guy. So we're going to need the previous state of the component here. I'm going to go like this. I'll put all this guy into the previous state. So previous state, it can take an arrow function, an anonymous arrow function. Why is it breaking like that? Loading false, temp array. Why is it loading? Sorry, my keyboard's wonky. To return an object. Is that good? All right. And so the set state can take an anonymous function. It gives you the previous state, and then you can work within the previous state in this callback function. So what we're going to do is say let updated images. We don't need to say array. Let updated images equal the previous state, and then we need to push in this guy here. We need to push in a new gallery image component. So we're going to say updated images is equal to updated images.push. Do we need to say updated images.push? I think we just need to do updated images.push. We'll see. And then we need to push in this component that we construct. So push that in there. Clean up this line. And then we're going to return, instead of this images, temp image array, we're going to return the updated images like that, and we're going to set the loading to false. It's going to go false multiple times, but that's not going to hurt the code. And we return that object. And so this index is no longer indexed because we're not in the temp images array.map. We're in the for let I is equal to 0. So this guy needs to be I, not index. So that's I, gallery image, the image data. Image data that we got back from the local storage is called image data right here. And also we don't need this temp image array. You can comment that out. So this guy is not image, it's image data. So image data. And the file name is, of course, we got that from the list, and that is file name up here. This guy right here. So that guy can just be file name. Perfect. All right, so let's save it and see if we broke the code. So control save. Let's check our site. Failed to compile. Image date is not defined. Did I misspell it? I did. That should be an A. All right, let's check the code. And why aren't we getting anything? Let me shrink this a bit. I think I know why. We commented some code out. Why can't this shrink? There we go. We commented some code out to do some, not debugging, but just so we didn't break everything. And that was at the, here we go. Component did mount populate page. Let's go back and cannot read property message of undefined. Inventory.message response. That is the get inventory function, which is up here. Returning the promise, that's good. We're using the author, that's good. We are parsing the JSON and we are logging, that's the problem. So we're not actually returning anything. We're not resolving anything in this promise chain. We can just comment this guy out, and then this will automatically return the parsed JSON, which is the message. So we'll save that. Now we check. Images.push is not a function. And why is that? Images.push, your previous state, which is the whole state, which is not the images array. So update images is not that. It should be .images like this. Now we check. And there we go. We have all of our images downloading and displaying in a list. The website looks like crap. There's no styling, there's no proper spacing. All the functionality of this site seems to be going proper. We've tested the delete, we've tested the change author, we can download one image, we can download multiple images, we can show all of the images. I think all that's left to do is do the actual styling now. So let's ship it, let's style it. And so that's our app. We have a gallery, or an image gallery here. We have the images displayed. We have the file information displayed. We can upload a new file. Let's do Jackie Chan Hello What with the author. We can upload it, refreshes, displays on the front end. And of course, we had the back end where we have the record inserted right here. Jackie Chan Hello What. So if this video gave you any sort of help at all, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, any sort of comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next Let's Dev.